Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. This morning I'm doing an interview with Lyerpald. He is a Twitch streamer who is a Splinterlands community member, and he reached out to me to just see if we could sit down and have a conversation about all things Splinterlands. He seemed like a really nice guy on Discord, and now that I've met him, I can affirm that he is both a quality person and he's got a great sense for this game because the conversation really flowed. So I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be an excerpt from that. And if you want, you can check out his channel. The link will be in the description. He is there regularly on Twitch. And again, he's just supporting the Splinterlands community with quality content and great information. So check him out. Thanks, guys.
And just like it feels to me, what just before I carry on, what was the price of a Jotun or something? Were they out when you started? What were the average prices of like a legendary summoner back then?
I remember. Okay, so I remember maybe a year ago, maybe 18 months, something like that. It's hard to say exactly.
Yeah.
Before this went crazy, I remember looking at what card was that? It wasn't a summoner. It's one of the water. Yes, it was. It was the legendary Valnemor. He's the one who gives +1 to magic, +1 to speed, +1 to
big money now.
Yeah. So he goes for $1,200 per BCX. And I remember putting in a buy order. There was one on the market that was about $20 per BCX. And it was maybe it was $15 even. It was like something around the 15 mark. And I was thinking to myself, man, that's super expensive. But you know, maybe I could do it, because you remember like other ones that were out there. Like I do remember also the legendary dragon summoner, Camilla Sungazer.
I got one of those.
She's a good card. Definitely a good card. I mean, for a dragon to be 3, usually dragons are 4 or more mana cost. And then for the -1 melee is pretty decent, especially when you have like a shield tank. She was going for $3. So when you say $3 for that amazing legendary, like a really good, quality legendary summoner, and then you look at Valnemor, who's of course better, but you know, is it 5 or 6 times better? I didn't buy it, but looking back, of course, I wish I had.
Hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that ties in more or less what I've thought. So, you know, looking back at where the game was, the prices seemed to be more or less stable before the explosion, right? Before this huge like crypto gaming boom kicked up. And I think at that stage you could have got into anything. I was in Plants vs Undead and I made a few $100s from there, straight into Splinterlands, Crypto Blaze. There was all these things. And I suppose I have a concern that you know, the prices have inflated to a level where I don't know if it is sustainable. But I suppose we've had a few months now where, you know, the prices have stabilized and everything just seems to be going higher. They don't seem to be dropping. And you know, coming close to Chaos Legion, there was the hope for people that you know, prices will come lower, but it seems like NFTs are holding their value. It does seem to be separate from Bitcoin. Even in this recent dip, you know, we just had a week of blood in the streets, so to speak, when it comes to crypto in general. And you know, DEC dipped and SPS dipped and everything else dipped. But the card prices, I suppose that relies on people changing the prices as quickly as possible and trying to catch it as it goes down. But I think it is pretty insulated from the wider crypto market, which is good news for me because I've got an amazing ability to lose money in crypto. So maybe holding NFTs, it's like a skill, is the way to go. So yeah, that's the hope really, is that, you know, I think it's sometime the easy ride in crypto is going to be over. What are you going to hold? Are you going to hold some of the tokens you bought at the top, or it seems like holding NFTs for a successful game that's been out for 3 years? I mean, the proof's in the pudding there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, and I suppose everybody in the community would have the same thoughts, right? And we all invested in the games to some extent or another.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it just continues trucking, man. I'm assuming everybody's so excited for Chaos Legion.
Yeah.
That's right around the corner.
I can think of.
I saw your big purchase.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Your big purchase there. That's a lot of packs, man. I mean, that's a big commitment right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest crypto, like the biggest single crypto purchase I've ever made. That's roughly $22,000 US that I just put into.
How many packs is that?
I got
too lazy to do the math there.
I got 1,254, like after the bonuses. Wow. So
yeah,
I think I bought 1,045, and then you add 20%, and
yeah. I know what's the intention there? I mean, obviously you're going to invest into hold long term. Are you going to do 1,000 pack, some crazy opening special? I mean, that's an entire stream of just opening packs.
Yeah, it would be. I honestly don't think so. So here's the thing. My deck is really powerful already. So there are different people at different stages of this game, and I try to talk about this on the channel. It's like, if you're just getting started, some people want to listen to my videos on like that, and they're like, oh, I wish I could buy 100 packs. And I think, wait a second, like if you can't buy 100 packs, maybe like look at it from a different angle. Think to yourself, look, do I have a deck yet? If I don't even have a silver level deck, then there are cards on the marketplace that are affordable that are going to help you get the let's say 2 steps forward. Instead of, if you invest in 100 packs and that's all of your money, 100.
You don't get good cards.
You might get lucky, but those are lottery tickets. But then for me, for a person like me who can come in and buy 1,000, and maybe hopefully I'm hoping to do a really big order in the private sale. We'll see. But if I can get 1,000 or thousands of packs, there starts to be a reliable math that I'm going to get some really quality cards. Because understand that every pack can have an amazing gold foil legendary, but also it could just be 1 rare and 4 commons. And so, if you're going to spend $20 on a voucher and $4 on a pack, you better have enough math behind you that you can trust that you're going to get a good number of those legendaries and even those gold foils. And I feel at 1,000 plus, you can start to count on the math. Plus, having found out about that group buy opportunity with Marcus Wall, the guy who made cardauctions.com, I just was like, oh, I can get the 20% bonus. That immediately was 50 plus free packs, which alone at $24, right, is like over $1,000. That's $1,000 US dollars for free by going into a business transaction with a person that I thought I could trust, and apparently I can because I'm holding my assets already, right? So
okay. I mean, you got to risk it, right? If you're gonna trust anybody, it's one of those guys. They've been around for ages. They're affiliated with Splinterlands in some capacity or another. So I mean, we were talking today about the I don't know if it's a U-turn or whatever on the private sales or whatever it was, but I feel like I stream on Twitch. The majority of people, I think, that watch my stream have smaller decks. There's not many whales that hang out. There's a few of the guys. I don't even like using the term whale. There's something about it. It's so common in this game, but whatever, for lack of a better term, we'll call it that. So it seems to be like just general joy with that change. I think that's going to be positive for a lot of people. Sometimes I feel like I've been playing this game now only about 5 months or so. Like I haven't been in too long, 4 months, 5 months, something like that. And I feel like it's infinitely more difficult to get started for people now than what it was, at least when I started. But that's the hope for Chaos Legion. It gives, some, I mean, botting is a constant topic with us. I don't know what side of the fence you sit on. I haven't had too many people that stick up for bots unless they bot themselves. But
I don't have any bots, but I've been in since there was 1,000 people playing this on the daily. And so there were bots then, and I was like, oh, these are helping literally give me a match to fight. Otherwise, I wouldn't have anybody to fight. You just sitting there for 3 minutes waiting for a match to happen. And so, I know we've come from that point, and we don't, that's no longer a justification perhaps to say like, oh, we need them. But still, I continue to say that there are certain positives that come out of people who run bots. And I know most people don't want to hear that because they're like, I think frankly, it's because, we missed the boat on that. Like, I think if any of us thought, and because there's bot programs out there that you could download right now and start running right now. It's very easy.
I've done it. I've done it. It's I don't have a problem with them necessarily. Themselves, the bots. I suppose they were fine before the recent reward changes, right? For the people at the bottom, and it felt like at that stage I was streaming Splinter. I've been streaming it now for maybe about a month or so. I've been streaming for well over a year, but Splinterlands only recently. And it felt like at that stage it was almost like a choice between the two. It was either drain the reward pool with all the new players coming in that don't invest, and I get that side of it as well, or keep the bots going. And it's kind of sad they chose the botting angle, but I don't know anything about getting rid of bots or how they work in any capacity like that. But
that's the other thing. If there was some if it was my decision, and it's not, but if it was my decision, and if there was some way to accurately identify all the bots and change something about how they operate so that it maybe disincentivizes that their business model, I would be for something. I'd be for exploring something like that. But there's no such switch. Like people think, oh, just like ban the bots. That's not a thing. Like we don't even know which accounts are bots. And then you can speculate sometimes, oh, that's probably a bot. But what are you going to do? Like that's somebody think about it. Like there's a human being that bought that account and then bought cards or earned them. Even if you're using a bot, that was a degree of engineering and thoughtfulness and planning and investment in the game.
And investment,
and all of that was like actually part of the thing that made Splinterlands as big as it is now. Because that was showing account numbers, that was showing transactions, that was making it look like Splinterlands could really handle the growth. And actually, of course, we've stumbled a few times as we continue with the server stuff as we grow. But all of that was like the foundation that built the excitement that led into where we're at now. And so I just don't know that it's as easy as people think. And that sometimes it's like we get upset because it's like they created a situation where the developers felt they had to nerf the bronze, and then that hurts a lot of new players. I get it, but also when I played this game, everybody should. I hope everybody would hear the next thing I'm going to say. When I played this game in bronze and silver for several months, there weren't 20 DC per thing. DC weren't a penny each. I got like nothing. Like I got like almost nothing. And my cards weren't worth like 30 cents each. They were worth half a penny each. So, the math around like what I got as a reward to play this game when I started versus what you guys are getting now when you start at bronze is totally different. The event, even though
that's true,
even though they've completely and repeatedly nerfed what you're getting at bronze, the rewards that you're receiving is, even though it's a 10% reward at bronze 3 and a 20% on the cards at bronze 2 and a 30% at bronze 1, those, if you get cards, when you do get cards, those are going to be 17 or even 30 times more valuable than the cards that I used to earn. So so, like we have to take the whole picture in, not just say like 2 weeks ago it was way better and now it sucks. Like, well, what about 3 years ago when people were playing? You know what I mean? It's a very complicated topic.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's interesting. I think there's a common thread now when it comes to just crypto in general. I was joking about it on stream. I was going to ask you, as a YouTuber, 90% of the YouTube videos I watch promise me to get rich in 30 days or less. Like I was going to ask you, how do I get a Lambo, man? I've been trying. What cards do I need to buy? I wanted to ask you, what was the first card you bought? What was the big investment in Splinterlands back in the day? Which was the one that's
I definitely have some like fond memories about a lot of these cards. When I'm on my screen, I'm looking at Peak Monsters and I'm looking at the different cards that I own now. I'm going to click on my cards and just look at my menu. But I remember, as I look at the artwork, I'm reminded of moments where I was like, that card is so powerful and I really want it. Like for instance, with Cerebus, the 4-cost mana tank for the red team. I remember I used to use, I didn't really have a tank on red. I remember trying to use Pit Ogre at like a lower level, and it worked like a fair amount. And like the Pit Ogre is a really good tank at kind of diamond or champion. But I was using it around level 4 where it gets enraged. It has only 8 hit points and it only has 3. It has 3 attack. It's only got 2 speed. It's way too slow in like the silver or the gold range. And then people would kick my butt with the Cerebus. But I remember it was like about $40 or $30 to get a maxed out copy.
Even that's crazy looking back. It's one of those for single now.
Yeah, it is exactly. It's $42 for 1 BCX. And you need 115 BCX to make it a full copy, but they were giving $40 for a maxed copy. And I
do you think it gets, sorry?
Oh, I just couldn't, just to finish that thought, I had to stretch to buy it, but I remember I bought it and I was like, now I've got like a powerful red deck. And of course it was a huge benefit. What were you going to say?
Do you think it gets to a point, there's a tipping point where the cost becomes prohibitive, where people might be pushed away? To get, you want to be, what led to this exponential growth, if you want to call it that, was hundreds of thousands of new people coming in. And now, those hundreds of thousands of people, whether they were rich or poor or didn't have a lot to invest or not, whatever. They were a part of bringing it to the mainstream, and now the prices get too far out ahead. The
Yep.
rewards are diminished for them. Is there, I suppose that's a twofold question, but would that have a knock-on effect to the prices coming down, and would the prices of the cards be prohibitive to new people coming in?
Great question.
It's more expensive than Axie right now, right? Axie was the king. I remember that being $1,000, $2,000 to get in. I mean, you get yourself a La Macron set up with $1,000, right? Or a little bit more than 1,000. I suppose that'll do it for me. But do you see a point where it would be too expensive for the average person?
It's an interesting question. I feel like on the one side, I want to immediately say no, I don't. But then I'm like, okay, hang on a second. Remember, like this is a game that you're like I'm up to my eyeballs in it. Like I'm deep in it, and I'm not, it's benefited me financially. It's helping the YouTube channel. So I've got to kind of try to set aside that excitement and that bias. And it's probably impossible, but like take all of that into consideration when I give my answer. And I would say, here's the thing, those cards have all of those cards that we're citing, like the old cards, the alphas, the betas, the ones that are really blown up in value. They have a unique place in the existing meta, and they offer something that newer cards can't and won't. It doesn't matter if you came out with another card today that was an exact replica of the Cerebus. With like a different picture, and maybe it worked for a different Splinter. You could do that and it wouldn't really matter, because the new copy is going to have like 120, I think it's like probably 1/10 of the power of a Cerebus. And so that means that it makes a gigantic difference to the value proposition of the cards that are coming out now versus yesterday. And so I think that power dynamic and the insistence by the developers that we're always going to have power requirements for different levels is going to mean that you always need some of these older expensive cards. And I think of them like, I think about collectible cards. Like, there's some, whether it's Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or comic books or, even fancy cars, there are like some cars that are really, really expensive, and you buy them anyways, and you buy them, and but with these, they don't ever depreciate. They're never going to wear out. They're just yours forever. You can use them in the game to earn. You can play them on, and think about all the increasing ways that we can earn with these cards too. And it's like, with each way we earn, whether it's the SPS airdrop, whether it's the wild format versus the modern format, whether it's land and how you farm it effectively, all those are three different ways that you're going to be benefited by holding on to those older assets that are really particularly expensive now. And so on the one hand, you might say they're too expensive already. The price should really come down. But I think I just gave three great reasons why the price should probably go up, because that is increased utility, increased financial opportunity for the holders of those assets. And then as one more point is that, so that's that. I feel like I just articulated why old cards should continue to hold their value. But then there's the other side, is it going to get too expensive to the point where, new people can't play the game? I think the answer to that is no also, because we're going to continue to regularly receive new decks and new reward cards. And when I look at Peak Monsters, I'm looking at it again right now. I'm just looking at the recent reward cards. I mean, there is 6 cards that are under 25 cents. And they need 400 copies each, so that's about $80 to buy a max copy. Those cards are going to be expensive one day, and people are going to say, Pellicor Mercenary was 21 cents. Like, that's crazy. But my point is that there's always new reward cards. They're always cheap because people don't value them, because they haven't found their niche in the evolution of the meta. And they will, because they're good cards. But until they do, and also until they stop getting printed, they're going to continue to be kind of disrespected, and their price appreciation isn't going to come. And then there's Chaos Legion, and then there's Rift Watchers, and then there's the next one, and then there's the next one. So there's this constant inflow of new cards that are going to have a different value proposition than the old cards. So they don't exactly make it they don't disincentivize old owners, but they do give an opportunity to new owners. So that's my full answer on that question.
Yeah, I mean, that all makes sense. I think from a logistical standpoint, I'm sure they're going to make workarounds for it. But one of the things that concerns me is I'm sure there's a fix for it, but a common reward card now is 5 collection power. 2 expansions from now, is that going to be 0.5? I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're running with the collection power, unless they develop some sort of system around it, which I'm sure they will. That's an easy fix, right? It's just fiddling with the metrics. But the older cards are giving 150,000 power for a gold foil legendary. Now it's 12,500. Eventually, it becomes, if you continue to use that as a metric, it's eventually going to get to a point where if a new person's coming in and wants to enter the wild format, whatever the name is going to be, goodness gracious me, I'm getting like 0.1 collection power for a reward card. And I need 150 minutes. Anyway, that's a logistical side of it. I'm sure they could fix that.
Good question.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm really interested with Chaos Legion is to see the price of the sort of legendary summoners that we get out of the packs, because I'm sure everybody's of the opinion the days of getting a mimosa for $40 or $20, like some of the cards you listed, those days are long gone. The barrier to entry is much higher now, but hopefully they come in some sort of reasonable. Everybody's definition of reasonable is different. I get that, but I see the game's grown to a stage now where I think seeing a Yodin for $5 or something like that's long gone. But like you said, the cards get replaced, and we'll have something that comes in, and maybe at the time you look at it and you don't realize what it's going to be in the future. That's why it's important for YouTubers such as yourself that have been around for a long time. I'm just talking trash on Twitch all day. I don't provide any information to anyone. It's pure entertainment. At least you've got the educational side of it as well. You could look back at somebody's account. Clove was the same. I started watching Clove when I first got in, and I don't want to say clickbait. I'll say clickbait in a positive way. I got $1 million from Splinterlands, and I clicked it, and my girlfriend and I were watching it. Like, what? $1 million for playing a video? I've been playing video games for a year. I make nothing, and she's played a video game, and she's got $1 million. So it's, it's an invaluable resource for people, to see that puts time and attention. Sorry to coin the phrase there.
That's fine.
If you put it up, it eventually pays off down the line, and it goes back to what I said earlier, where I just think the whole mindset of crypto at the moment is very get rich quick. The patience to stick it out and wait, and it doesn't gel right now. But the bear market hopefully will come, and then people, everything, the hype will die down, and then that's and continue building up from there, really. But Chaos Legion, it can't roll by fast enough, and hopefully we're still going to be here. We could have a chat at some point. I know you're busy today. Do you have a tournament or something to do today?
Today the guild is creating, we created a tournament. I don't know if it's actually live yet. I should check on my screen. Yesterday we had a live event celebrating my 5K, and
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. That was crazy.
I left a comment on your YouTube video months ago, and I said, I don't know if you'll remember it, but I said your hair game was on point. Has your hair to the side. That was ages ago, man. So yeah, that was way when I started. Didn't understand anything. Come a long way. But,
so we've got a tournament. It's called the TNA Intern Battle Royale. It's a private event. It's password protected. It's 1,000 DEC to enter, and it's all the money is going towards creating TNA 2 and TNA 3 if we get enough entrants. And it's just from our TNA interns. It's not a public event. You need to be an intern. There's 3 different ways to become an intern. You got to either subscribe to my channel at Silver Plus on the YouTube, or you got to Discord, boost the Discord, or win one of our tournaments. And we do weekly tournaments to select new interns. And I think that's always what we'll do. So we can give the opportunity for people to enter the door for relatively free, because our tournaments are really usually cheap. We try to make them 25 to 50 DEC, because we're trying to, entice and invite and create opportunities for people who have just begun, who have an excitement for the game and time to play it, but maybe don't have the assets that somebody like myself have. That's fine. That will come with time. In fact, I feel confident that, just like you said, it's time and attention. It's literally, to me, this game is a money tree, or it's like gold panning. Do you know gold panning? It's like, you like go sit, hundreds of years ago when there was like gold just like floating down the river, people would go into the river and they just like grab a sieve and they'd just find little bits, like flakes, nuggets, whatever they could muster up. Some of you are going to play this game today, and you're going to come out of it with a gold foil Oceanus. Some person's going to do that today. I don't know. It's probably not going to be one of us. Might not be one of the viewers.
It's not me doing.
No.
Oh, my luck.
But I mean, it happens. Like, it happens every day. And
Yeah.
and then some people are gonna, you're just gonna get like a 10 or 20 cent card, and it kind of feels like it's nothing. But those are the gold flakes that we're talking about. And if you understand how deflation works, if you understand how economics works, then you have to understand that those things they have a greater value than the price suggests. And so you just
Yeah.
hold on to that asset and watch the people around you learn the real value. And what you know it already, but they need to learn it. And in a year and 2 years, as the economics of the situation kind of catch up to you, you're going to be rewarded retroactively. So it's like a raise, but it's a retroactive raise. And that's what happened to me. I mean, my deck was $10,000 for the longest time, and then it was $50,000 when my channel blew up. Maybe 30,000 at first, and then 50,000. There's a video where I think I called it like spend $30, get $50,000 is my most viewed video.
Yeah.
And in that I don't give you a recipe for how you can do do that. It's more like I'm talking about, this is all $30 is what it would take to start to rent cards and to play for a full season, and to start on like a gold. I think it was like a gold level journey at that time. And when I started the game, I entered with like roughly a gold level deck, not right away, but like after, let's say 3 months into it, I had a gold level deck. And so my point is, if you can get a gold level deck like this, that's the pathway to like, tens of thousands of dollars with this. Not overnight. This is not get rich. It's like literally investing your time and, the attention that you're going to put toward the thing, and actually being intentional about, hey, this card's overpriced. Maybe I sell it and buy 20 of those ones that are underpriced. And that's all attention that you're focusing and spending. And there are rewards for that, but it takes months or years for that to really retroactively boom.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I remember when I got into crypto, one of the things that blew my mind was airdrops, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
You get free money
I know.
for an asset. I mean, that doesn't happen in the real world. That doesn't happen anywhere. Nobody gives you stuff for free. And, and another thing that blew my mind about Splinterlands, I couldn't wrap my head around it, was the amounts of ways that you earn money in this game. It's not just play to earn. It's the renting and buying the land when that comes, and on the card pack flipping, card flipping. It's absolutely incredible. So I think one thing I've noticed is that I spend a lot of time on the Discord, and I end up people arguing there. Is whenever a change comes out, it's hysterical sometimes. But this is such a passionate community. The people love this game. They absolutely love it. And I've spoken many times. I've been streaming many months now, and I've played many different games over the time. But there's nothing quite that I've experienced quite like Splinterlands. This is one of the coolest places. Everybody's nice. Everybody's into crypto and money and earning, and everybody's an adult. It's not my usual experience that I've had on Twitch before. So
Yeah.
it's I've got nothing but good things to say about the game. And again, with the devs, I've got to trust that these guys know what they're doing. It's not my business. I don't work for the company, but they've done a great job so far. So, I've got no reason to think that it's not going to do even better.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to take it day by day and see what happens. It's all positive. Do the daily quest, guys. You know the deal. The Twitch as well is another place. I'm sure YouTubers do the same thing. They do loads of giveaways for all the people starting off. We had an Oceanus donated to our giveaway a few days ago. Somebody won it on the second day, Dwayne. I wanted to milk that out for a month. Somebody got it on the second day, on the last spin of the day. So, there's always opportunities in here for people starting off.
Yeah.
And it's just such a giving community. People are helping out everywhere.
Yeah. And I'm like, maybe I have to digress to tell a little bit more about me before I say the next point, but I consider myself I really value free markets. And I think the idea that I think of myself as a libertarian, and to me, that's like people enter into business relationships of all kinds. Business it doesn't just mean like two men with a suit selling something. It's like, everything we do together, we enter into things, willingly. And this is another extension of that, this game where like you rent something to me for a certain price. I use it for a certain period of time. I'm volunteering my money. You're volunteering your asset. There is so many ways that and it's already beginning where there is, I think of that as a really beautiful thing. And this game creates opportunities where, like you're pointing out, like rental income, playing income, but there's more than that, right? And we're just learning now, like scholarships is like a new kind of budding thing where I can like delegate assets in a totally trustless way, and then you can earn DEC for your playtime, and maybe I keep the cards because I'm funding it in that way, or maybe I give you all the cards but I keep the DEC, or maybe we go half half, and there are ways to make this, there right now there are still some trust requirements there, like somebody for instance would have to like I'd have to give public keys to somebody, or posting keys to let them do that, but there are ways that this is coming where it's going to be even more trustless, like through DAO technology, decentralized autonomous organization stuff. And Yaba has said he wants to implement that and bring that to guilds so that we could have like communal guild assets that are just trustlessly held. So the where this is going, first of all, it's revolutionary. And then where it's going is so much bigger than we are currently imagining. And I think people who are taking this seriously now might literally retire because of Splinterlands, or because of some other game that I don't know about, but that is maybe equally fun and rewarding. So that's such a cool and exciting thing to be a part of. And I hope people are paying attention. I know a ton of people are, but I bet a ton of people are just like watching from the outskirts, like I used to with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin was $1,000, my friends were telling me, buy some, and I was like, no, thanks. Of course, I did later, but not until it had gone up a lot. So
yeah. Well, that's the benefit of hindsight. What was the first crypto that you got in on? What was the one that you finally jumps in?
September 2016, I bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin. And then I quickly diversified because those were the ones that were available on the exchange that I had access to. But I quickly diversified into, my main holding was Steam at first, because Bitcoin ran up. Pardon?
Because of Splinterlands?
No.
Or was this? So it just happened to be a coincidence that you.
It was kind of the reason I fell into Splinterlands, actually. So Steam, I don't know how much you know about it, but Steam is like a blockchain that handles a lot of transactions. And it's just like Hive actually in most respects, but it's run by different people. And the cool thing about Steam was that it was offering decentralized social networks. And so, you could actually be rewarded for that time and attention. That's where that kind of started budding in my mind, where it's like I'm posting an article or a video on Steemit, or PeakD or whatever, and it ends up in the public's hands. And if they find value in it, they can for free, like no cost to them, reward me for that post, the quality there. All they have to do is give me a thumbs up, and the system says, the algorithm, the blockchain says, okay, that got a thumbs up from somebody we respect, and therefore it gets X amount of points being cryptocurrency. And so I started to see right then, oh, like my time is actually worth something. Like I'm investing a time to write an essay. People are going to reward for that quality. And then that began this whole recognition and this like journey of and I stumbled into Steam Monsters through Steam, and it went from there.
Yeah, that's when you see it right there. That's how YouTube should work. That's how all content should work. That's another aspect that blows my mind. There's all the posts on there that I read. It's amazing. It's a never-ending wealth of just a good community and ways to earn money. It's absolutely crazy. My only regret, I complain about this regularly. Over a year ago, I was sitting at home during the pandemic. I found out, I found out about Play to Earn. I typed it into Google, and I lost about 2 days in Townstar and about 6 months in Alien Worlds. And if I'd found Splinterlands back then, that was my only dream, is that there was better search engine optimization. Maybe I could have gotten a bit earlier. But it's benefit of hindsight. It's better to be in now and be growing and doing whatever you're doing now than not. I'm sure you're passionate in your life about Splinterlands. My friends are sick of hearing about it. My girlfriend's had enough. My best friends, they don't want to hear it anymore. One of them followed me into Plants vs. Undead, and I don't know how much you know about that, but that's didn't end well. And so I think he doesn't trust me at all when it comes to Splinterlands. But everybody's so passionate about it, and I'm telling you, this one's different. Just join up.
I know.
But
I have two friends, like I guess my two best buddies, Mike and Jeff. They're probably not watching, but I love you guys. And they love video games. Like they're my gamer buddies. We get together maybe once a month and we just like play video games all night long and order pizza, that kind of thing. And I try to talk to them about the, like, I mean, they listen to me, like they're, you know, they'll hear me out. I'll talk to them about the channel, but they've never played the game. And I'm just like, I don't want to be there. I feel like here's the thing. When you're telling somebody about something, if they want to try it, that's awesome. But it's another thing to like try and sell them on it. I don't want to sell anybody on Splinterlands. If you're interested in trying it because you think it looks fun, or because you're interested even in the economics that I'm mentioning, that's cool. Like, come hang out in the channel, join the Discord, like learn more, get to a place where you actually want to. Like, this is not a sales pitch, but I personally love it. I love the gameplay. I find that it's satisfying when not every game. Sometimes you win and you're just like, oh, that was whatever, because you roll over your enemy. But on those games where it's really close, I wonder how you feel about this, but I still, there are times where I like lean in, I'm like, and I actually, and then I have this like awesome celebratory sense after I do win, or this, you know, big frustration if I end up losing by one miss or something like that.
Dodges and things of that nature.
It's a fun game.
100% it's fun. It's so weird. I've never experienced anything before where it's a mix of a game and an investment. It's money and a video game sort of merged together with each other. It's almost, sometimes it feels like two different worlds. Sometimes it feels like there's people that are far more interested in the investment and some people that are far more interested in the game. It's such a hybrid of two different worlds as far as I've seen it. But yeah, the gameplay is awesome. I'm screeching and screaming. My neighbors must be so sick of me. They probably don't know what Splinterlands is. My window's always open. I'd be surprised if they haven't used my referral link by now. I show that thing all the time. But yeah, it's incredibly fun. I watch your stream, and I think it's, when you first get started, it's a lot more simple, a lot more basic, a lot less counters. It's a lot of bot spam and, you know, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Just to go to the bots for a second, like, from a practical standpoint, bots are much easier to counter than real players. They just spam the same stuff over and over. Once you get a few combinations, I preach about that all the time. But yeah, there's a lot of complexity as you get further and further up the ladders, up the ranks, and things of that nature. So I look forward one day to heading to champion, or you know, maybe someday we'll all get there. But yeah, Dwayne, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you got a busy day and all that sort of stuff, man. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. We've all been watching you for ages. You're a huge presence on YouTube.
Thanks, man.
Super dedicated. You're releasing videos all the time. I aspire to be that motivated to do that much content. So to me, it's impressive. So if you want to shout out your tournament or your guild or your YouTube channel, please go right ahead. To the Twitch crowd.
First of all, thanks for reaching out to me, and then kind of being, what's the word, like patient while we figured out the timing. Things are crazy for the channel and things are crazy for the guild. You know, TNA 1 is just, I feel like we're just getting started with TNA 1, but now we are creating TNA 2 and maybe 3. If people want to sign up for the tournament, you got to be an intern. Like I said, if you want to be an intern, you either need to win your way in through our tournaments, which we do hold weekly. You can look for those tournaments, you know, skip this one if you're not already and you want to do it for free. You can, or relatively for free. You can maybe skip this battle royale and come in and join one of our weekly tournaments and try and get top 5, and you'll be offered a TNA intern spot for free. Otherwise, you can come into the Discord and you can boost the Discord, or you can join my channel on YouTube. If you think I'm adding value, I would appreciate the support. And also Silver Plus memberships, Silver, Gold, or Champion of my YouTube channel will become interns. And any of those people who are then interns can come join this. It's 1,000 DAC, but every penny of that is going to creating the guild, and then buying the hall and the store, so that those guilds will have the ability to immediately start spending merits that they're earning. That's, in my opinion, that's like the starting point for when guilds really get great. So if that sounds interesting, you know, you can come check out the Discord and ask questions about it. The Discord is, I think it's just at Time and Attention, and also my channel, Dwayne Cunningham. We talk about Splinterlands all day, every day. Come check me out. Hopefully I'm adding value to the community, and if you guys think so, I'd love for you to come and subscribe. Thanks a lot, man.
Awesome. I think 90% already know. Those who don't, now you do. All right, Dwayne, I truly appreciate you, man. Hopefully we can sit down another points in the future. Yeah, man, I'll be watching YouTube videos. So good luck with the tournaments and everything else, and life and love and everything else, man. I appreciate you. We all do. And have a great day.
Later.
Cheers, man. Bye. Bye.